Look at the execution here, the commitment to his craft, not just. Look at the execution here, the commitment to his craft, not just flailing around and hitting the ground, but the follow through, sliding all the way into the sideline.
And then you spilled somebody's drink on yourself. You're an idiot. What a dickhead. Like, that is just some, like, bro, I don't even want to watch this no more. I'm not going to lie. How much is this? Only 30 seconds left. It's straight.
And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
Like and subscribe on the way in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly fantastic day today. Fanboys. Welcome back, my people. Welcome back to Fanboy Friday. Shout out to Tori Sama. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his name correctly. But I played a clip at the beginning, and that was him. He's a YouTube reactor. As you can see, he reacts to LeBron James and Michael Jordan's videos. I have kind of watched him progress through his journey. LeBron James is his favorite player. And I've watched him progress and finally realized that Michael Jordan is indeed the GOAT. And now I've seen in some recent videos, he's questioning if LeBron is even better than Kobe. And so, yeah, shout out to him for not letting his emotions override the logic. That as he discovers the information, he adjusts his thinking accordingly. And again, you know, the clip that I played was him reacting to a Scap Attack video, The Last Flop, showing the duck, the deer, doing what he does best, and that's flopping all over the place. And you can see the disgust on Tori's face, appropriately so. So LeBron James is kind of like, you know, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And the more you discover, the more LeBron James will continue to fall down your ranks. But if you like reaction videos, go over to Tori Sama's channel, check him out, potentially give him a like and subscribe. But anyway, you see the title of the video. LeBron James and Steve Nash is back to the Mind the Game podcast, the Just the Game podcast, the Mind Games podcast. And in this clip I'm going to play, LeBron James, Steve Nash asks a question that opens up the door for yet another excuse for the failure of the 2011 finals. And LeBron James takes that opportunity to make yet another excuse for why he lost. And I want to say, LeBron James, can you keep up with all the excuses you're making for the 2011 finals? Now, last time with JJ Redick, you blamed it on that you only had a big three. You only had a big three surrounded by minimum guys. And now he's going to take another approach. But in the middle of this, Steve Nash says something that's very important that I think this statement alone shows you the difference between a Michael Jordan and LeBron James, the difference between a Kobe Bryant and LeBron James. Fanboys, you guys may want to click off, but it is Fanboy Friday. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into this clip.
You have failures when you're young.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the most important thing for me early on in my career was just the feeling of not wanting to let people down. I had to get over that.
100%.
You know, when you don't know quite how to handle that emotion, it's like, oh shit, if I miss this shot, I've let a lot of people down. Or if I make a bad play, I'll let so many people down. I think once I got out of that, and it took years.
Sure.
Like it took years for me. Like even like my second time in the finals, like my first year with the Heat, like I wanted to win so bad that I also had the fear of letting so many people down.
Yeah, I came here, we put this thing together, Pat.
And if it doesn't happen, I'll let so many fucking people down. And the hours that I put into my craft, the commitment that I gave to my craft wasn't even the thought, which should have been.
Right.
It was more.
So I'm gonna hold up right there for a second. So I just kind of want to address the first part of what he said. So he talked about getting to the Heat and not wanting to let people down. My take on this, what I think it is, it's not so much as not wanting to let people down, but I think it's more that LeBron James is terrified of the criticism. I think it's more the fact that LeBron James, he wants that praise so bad, and he's terrified of the criticism. And, you know, the saying goes, if you live for the praise, you will die by the criticism. And so, yeah, to me, when I hear LeBron James say this is what I'm really hearing, because I don't think LeBron James cares about the fans in that way. It's not like he's really worried about letting the fans down. He's more so worried about the criticism he's going to receive. He's more so worried about not getting the praise that he so desperately wants. And, you know, he talks about, you know, I think it goes back to the whole not one, not two, not three. I said the 2011 finals, LeBron James cracked under the pressure. And this is self-inflicted pressure. This is the kind of pressure that happens when, number one, you know that you left Cleveland in a sleazy way. Number two, you know that you formed a super team, and you know that a lot of people were not happy about you choosing to abort the competition, to recruit the competition, but to abort the competitiveness of the game and form a super team with D Wade and Chris Bosh. And so the pressure that came from those two things. And then again, let's go back to the point that LeBron James, you were saying not one, not two, not three, because you knew you had formed a super team. Like, you knew this. You understood this, and you went up there and said those ridiculous things because, again, instead of putting in the hard work, you thought it was about putting together the magic formula. Again, this is a shortcut mentality. So, due to all those things, due to the fact that you left Cleveland in a sleazy way, you put together a super team that a lot of people disagreed with, because again, not only were you showing your lack of competitiveness, you upset the balance of the league. And so, yeah, there was a lot of pressure that you should have absolutely delivered on. But again, this goes back to, what is your initial motivation for what you do? You know, is it to be great, or is it for people to say you're great? Which one is it? Is it to actually be great, or is it to have people praise you for being great? There is a difference. If you want the praise for being great, this is the incorrect motivation. And this is clearly LeBron James' motivation, because this is why he's so worried about what people think. And again, I would argue it's more about him being worried about the criticism that's going to come from him not delivering, versus him actually worried about letting his teammates down and letting the fans down. I think that's all cap. Anyway, let's continue.
It should happen.
Right.
It was more like, oh shit, if I go out and I make a mistake, I'll let them down. If I go out and fuck up, I'll let him down.
Yeah.
Like, instead of just like going out there and just be like, who the fuck gives a fuck?
Yeah.
They don't care.
Right. Right.
You are in the position because of that. And if you do, so be it.
And you still feel bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't get it done, but now you have the resolve to push through.
You have the resolve.
The next night I'm doing the same thing.
Yep,
right?
Exactly.
It's interesting. It's funny because I think I'm probably butchering this, but I think the Chinese call it a paper tiger. I think the Buddhists call it a double arrow, and it's basically, Mark Twain has this quote like, "I went through an awful lot in my life, and some of it actually happened." It's like our reaction, right? It's our reaction.
Yeah.
So you're reacting not to all the work you've put in. You're reacting to the perception.
Yeah, the perception.
Well, I don't want to let people down. I think we're similar in that way. Whereas I think other people like I don't think Kobe gave a shit. I think that's what part of his brilliance. I don't think Michael gave a shit. Like that's a part of their brilliance. In a way, other people, we had to get the scars through that stuff, right? And so I was.
So, you heard Steve Nash. Just with that statement, to me, he exposes the difference between Michael and Kobe and most other superstars. I say Michael, Kobe, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, but especially Michael and Kobe. I think these two shared this similar thing more than anybody. And he said, I don't think Michael and Kobe cared. Like, a lot of people have to build themselves up to this, but I don't think Michael and Kobe cared. I don't think they care what people think. Now, I think he is absolutely right in saying that they didn't care what people think, but again, I think you have to think about why that is. And that is because they were driven by a different goal than a lot of other people. Just like Larry Bird. They were driven by a different goal than a lot of other superstars. And here it is, LeBron James fanboys. I'm going to give you some free game, except for the fact that I know you're going to reject it because, because this is not what your king is. But the difference between LeBron James and Michael and Kobe is LeBron James is searching for validation, and LeBron and Kobe and Michael were searching for domination. Let me say that one more time for you LeBron James fanboys, is LeBron James is searching for validation. Again, he wants people to say he's great. This is what he's searching for. This is what he's been searching for. This is what the whole Unclutched Sports is about. Trying to change the narrative, trying to shape the narrative, because LeBron James is desperate for the validation of people saying he's the greatest. He is desperate for that. MJ and Kobe were searching for domination. And I would say even more so Michael Jordan than Kobe, because I feel like every player that came after Michael Jordan had some kind of sense of achieving greatness just because of following in Michael Jordan's footsteps, or so to speak, or coming after Michael Jordan and seeing like Michael Jordan take the world to heights in basketball that had never been reached before. So Michael Jordan kind of set a new level for expectations for everyone, set a new level for what was possible for everyone. But again, I think the main point is Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant were driven by domination. They wanted to simply dominate everyone. Again, the stories about Michael Jordan in college is like, as soon as he got in college, he's going at James Worthy. He's going at the best players always. When he got to the Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan said, hey, I was a rookie. I didn't have a voice, so the only thing I could do is go at the best player in practice. I had to lead with my game. And it was always about going at the best player. It was always about showing the best player that you are not as great as I am. Kobe Bryant, as an 18-year-old coming into the league. Matter of fact, this might have been right before he hit the league. I can't remember if it was right when he got to the league or right before he hit the league. But, you know, the story of Kobe Bryant saying he was going to go at Michael Jordan and the other players saying, hey, you don't want to do that. And Kobe Bryant was like, hey, when I see him, I'm going at him. Again, they had the need for domination. And so their goal in playing the game of basketball is different from a LeBron James. And because the goal is different, they got different outcomes. Again, greatness happens as a result of your purpose. Greatness happens as a result of your purpose. It's the same in music. I feel like the music that is timeless, the music that we seem to keep listening to generations over generations, and I can speak to this specifically because, again, I'm a musician. Occasionally, I play like some college frat parties and stuff like that, and even when we play older music, like we play some newer music, but when we play older music, these young kids, they get excited and they know these songs. That's because some artists are timeless. Like when you're talking about Stevie Wonder and Marvin Gaye and Michael Jackson and Prince, like why are these artists timeless? Because they actually had something to say in their music, because they actually had a purpose behind their music, because their music served a greater purpose than just them being famous and recognized. But you have some artists who their main purpose in being an entertainer is the recognition, and especially in the modern day, like everybody is chasing clout nowadays. Everybody is chasing clout nowadays. Like I said, one of the things that's most disappointing to me is seeing some of these rappers from my generation who was supposedly some of the biggest gangsters, and I'm not saying that they weren't, but what I am saying is like, how is self-snitching so accepted now? Like from a generation where silence used to be the thing, you know, but you got some of these rappers from the 90s all on the podcast telling all the business, and I'm just like, wow, man, that's so disappointing to see. But everybody's chasing clout. So, but when clout is your motivation for something, when simply clout and money is your motivation for something, you are not going to reach the same height as if you have a purpose that has greater meaning. So for Michael Jordan and Kobe, they, like I said, they were in search of domination. They were truly in search of being the best basketball player that they could absolutely possibly be in this lifetime. They were intent on absolutely maximizing their abilities for the sake of winning. Not just as a team, as LeBron James and people of the mainstream media like to keep trying to pushing this teams win championships. Yeah, we all know that. But normally teams with the greatest players win those championships. It's a reason for that. It's because the greatest players are normally the clutchest players. The greatest players are normally the best under pressure. But Kobe and Michael, they wanted to win not only as a team, but they wanted to win from an individual standpoint as well. They wanted to win their individual matchups. They wanted on every given night, whoever they were guarding and whoever was guarding them to know that there was no hope for you, and to know that I'm going to try to thrash you and I'm going to beat you when you're down. If you tell me your weaknesses, I'm going to use it against you. I'm going to show you absolutely no mercy. But LeBron James, he's worried about what other people thinks, because again, what he's playing for is the praise, and this is why he has the outcome that he has. Anyway, let's continue.
Their brilliance, in a way, other people we had to get the scars through that stuff, right? And so I was the same way. I think you perseverate on the negative rather than I'm building towards something here. Right? I'm building towards something here. I'm putting in the time. Rely on the work. Don't rely on the perception. You know,
for sure.
This false reality, and I think it's funny. I mean, we're getting into the mind here a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, mind the game.
Mind the game. But
no, I mean, but I agree. Like, it takes, like, you know, like, the best teacher in life is experience, and it just takes time. It takes time for you to depend on. Everybody is a different individual. Everybody's mindset and the way we're wired, our wiring are all different. And it takes more time for certain individuals to get to that point, to be able to have that. You need the scar tissue built up and able for you to be able to persevere through.
That's right.
And it took me time, you know, 6, 7, 8 years into my professional career to finally get to a point where even if I did kind of zone out a little bit, I knew, exactly how to I know how to get back in there. I know how to get back into the rim of things. Like, it was a flick. I was
refocus right away.
Yeah, refocus. Oh, I've been there before. You've been there before. Okay, what is it that you can refocus? You know what I'm saying? So, I think it took time for me to get to that point. And,
okay, we're going to hold up there. So, LeBron James basically said, hey, everybody's different, and this is a fact. He said everybody, you know, goes at their own pace and takes time to get to different levels. This is also a fact. But what else is also a fact is that some people will never get there. LeBron James fanboys, I know I bring bad news all the time, but what is also a fact is some people will never get there. Yes, everybody's different. And this is why I said, like I've said this several times, it was never in LeBron James to be the GOAT. Like, he actually never had the capability mentally. Physically, he had a shot. But mentally, it was never in him. Again, LeBron James is not the overcomer of obstacles that a Michael Jordan is, that a Kobe Bryant is, that a Larry Bird or a Magic Johnson is, that a Tim Duncan is, and not, Bill Russell and all those guys as well. LeBron James is not an overcomer of obstacles. And yes, everybody's not built the same. Like, there is a reason Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan. Like, one could also argue that, well, not argue, definitely part of what makes Michael Jordan is the motor that he had. Again, the ability, I just did a video on Craig Hodges where they were at a shoot around before the game. Michael Jordan says, drop me off at the bar and pick me back up on the way to the game. And Michael gets there and he's bubbly and seeing 3 rims, and he goes out and drops 30 at halftime. Certain things people are capable of, and other people could practice their whole life and never get on that level. This is just a fact. And so, I feel like a lot of people have some delusion that, if you work hard, you can be just like this, like anybody else. No, if you work hard, you can have some success. But the fact of the matter is some people have success levels that aren't attainable by others. It's just a fact of life. Everybody is good at different things. Everybody has things that they are naturally gifted at. And if those people who are naturally gifted actually put in the work to maximize that, then those people are going to reach heights that the people who aren't naturally gifted and put in the work are able to get to. But on the flip side of that, you have some people who are naturally gifted who don't put in the work, and people who aren't naturally gifted put in tons of work and are able to exceed what the person who is naturally gifted is able to do. But again, I think the long and short of it is we are not all capable of the same things. And at the end of the day, LeBron James was never capable of surpassing Michael Jordan. He was never capable of surpassing Kobe Bryant, and I would argue, To me, he hasn't passed Bird or Magic or Kareem or Duncan or Russell or Wilt or Elijah Wan. He hasn't surpassed any of those guys to me. Now, some of those guys is more or less because LeBron James, again, he's a shortcut taker and he's cheated the game. So to me, he's kind of really disqualified himself from even being spoken in the same sentence with a lot of greats. But anyway, we gonna hold up here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. What do you think of LeBron James, the duck, the deer, the leader of the 4 and 6 kingdom? Latest excuse for 2011, saying, hey, well, you know, I was so worried about what other people thought and worried about letting people down that I choked, you know. On top of that, we only had Meek, Bosh, and D-Wade. The rest were minimum guys. What excuses LeBron James gonna come up with next? But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. You all have a truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.